Hey, let me catch you up on all the things that have been happening around my tropical yard near Seattle this spring. It's been a busy couple of months. I've had to just focus on getting projects completed. It takes a lot of extra time to do the recording and the editing, but this will catch you up on everything that I've been working on the last couple of months. First, I started planting at the beach house. The soil there is mostly sand and it's also really windy there. So I've chosen to go primarily with waggy palms. Waggy palms have shorter fronds and they're stiffer. So because of the wind, they should do better there than like a Trachycarpus fortunei or something with softer, longer fronds. So I put in 10 of these waggy palms. This is Trachycarpus wagnerianus. I also added a sago palm, a needle palm, a European fan palm, as well as a Yucca Rostrada and some elephant ears. Now, when I start on an area like this, I'm always focused first on just getting the big plants in the ground, making sure I put the big stuff where I want it. There's still a lot of work to do up here, a lot of cleanup and grass removal and all kinds of things. But my priority first is get the big stuff in the spots that I want it. And then I'll start the rest of the cleanup and filling in with little stuff later. Now at the Seattle house, I started this spring really working on the front yard. I've added 7 windmill palms to the front. I've also added a Pindo Palm and a needle palm. 2 of these windmill palms I've had in pots in the backyard for the last 5 years. You can see they're pretty root bound and I'm sure they're happy to be getting out of these pots. This will give me a total of 12 windmill palms between the front and the backyard. Trying the Pindo Palm in the ground in the front. I've got 2 that I've had for a number of years in the backyard. Those are in pots and I've had to bring them in a couple of times. I've got my Christmas lights ready and my tarps ready for the winter if I need to try and give this thing a little bit of extra warmth. Now, when I plant things, I don't like the over manicured look. I don't like to see things all evenly spaced out and perfectly organized. I like more of a natural look. So I tend to crowd my palm trees a little bit, which is why these are pretty close. It's really because of that personal taste. You can argue about, is it better or worse for the palms? I see arguments on both sides. Ultimately, I like the look when they're a little bit more crowded together. It just looks a little bit more natural. And I like to keep people guessing on, did the yard just happen this way, or was there planning or thought put into it? If people are guessing, then I feel like I've done a good job. I also put a fig tree up front. This is a plant that I got from my friend James. I thought this spot up front would be good for this as well. Next to it, I also put in a Loquat tree. Got this a few weeks ago. It's already pushing out new growth. I think this will be a good spot for it. The CEO is a fan of the Yucca Rostrada, so I put one here as well. It'll be interesting to see. We put a Rostrada at the beach house and here, so we'll be able to compare. Does one do better in one condition or the other? The last addition to the front, I put an Ensete banana up here as well. Now, similar to the beach house, my priority is just getting stuff in the ground right now. I'm not trying to make it all perfect or clean everything up and make it pristine. I will work on that over the coming weeks. But for now, the priority is get stuff in the ground where I want it to be and update the irrigation drip lines so that I don't have to water stuff every day. In the backyard, I started on the Musa Basjoos cleanup, removing all the extra ground cover and cleaning up the stems from the winter. I only wrapped 2 this year, and those got a good head start. I had 7 of these that fruited last year, and those stems are not going to grow anymore. Personally, I prefer to remove the pseudo stumps that get left. This is just a look thing. It's not required. It's a personal preference. Just note, if you do take the old stems out, you will reduce the number of pups you're going to get because you're taking corm out of the ground as well. I have no shortage of Musa Basjoos, so I pull these out, and it just gives things a cleaner look. Now, you might remember from last year, I had a Musa Basjoos that grew up through the raised boxes that I have right behind the bananas. Grew up underneath the raised box. These boxes don't have bottoms, and then grew through 2 feet of dirt and popped out the top. I left them last year because it was kind of funny. But what I've noticed this year is they're actually starting to push the boxes apart. The underground system of these bananas is really powerful, and the boxes are starting to come apart, not because of the bamboo, but because of the bananas. So this year I've decided to take them all out. You can see the extensive root system here, and they've actually spread. I went from having 2 last year to 8 this year inside the boxes, and so I've got to get them out of here, and I'll probably keep a little fire line between the bananas and the boxes in the future, just keeping space between those so I don't get them growing back up through the boxes again in the future. I also cleaned out the center area of the Musa Basjoos. I put an Ensete in the middle. I think it'll create a nice look where you'll have 2 clumps of Musa Basjoos with a nice Ensete in between them. Last, in the backyard, I got some new pots for the less hardy plants just to have a consistent look and to make things match. The double mahoi banana is looking ragged. I put it out too fast. I never learn. I always put stuff out too fast. I get leaf burn from the sun after things have been inside for the winter. No exception this year. I did it again. So this got burned a fair amount, but it's doing well. It's putting out new growth, and it's even got a little pup that's coming along there. I've also got a sabal palmetto that I picked up last fall. While this survives pretty low temperatures, our winters are a little bit too cold and too wet. It's really the element of the water in addition to the cold that makes growing a lot of this stuff problematic. So at least for now, I'll be bringing this one inside for the winter. Another Puerto Rican plant that I got in the fall, this is a Puerto Rican plantain. This is a dwarf variety of plantain, so it's only going to grow 8 to 9 feet tall and should be fine inside the house for the winters. And I'm excited to get some tostones without having to go to Puerto Rico to get them. Last in these pots is the Heliconia lobster claw. This did pretty well over the winter. I wasn't sure how it would do on the inside of the house, but had no real issues with it, and it started pushing out new shoots a few weeks back, so it's pretty happy and looking forward to this just multiplying over the next couple of years, getting nice and full, and maybe we can get a flower out of this thing eventually. So that's it for this one. I'm working on another video that will show everything that survived the winter, as well as the stuff that didn't survive. We had a lot of fatalities this winter, so I'll go through and show what lived and what didn't in the next video. Thanks, and have a good one.